we're going to start. So, this is the Oz report for October 14th, 2023. And as always, we are going to start with Plex and Plex derivatives. Now, Plex price is up about 3-4% to 5.2 million. And that is no surprise, because if we go to the New Eden store, we have a pretty good sale going on right now, and that is the 1 month Omega price is down 30% to 350 Plex. So right now, no matter whether you subscribe for 1 month or for 3 months using Plex, it's the same price. And while that doesn't seem, for a lot of long-term subscribers, that doesn't seem like a lot. For a lot of people that don't want to take the big plunge, that just want to try something back in, or for various reasons need that flexibility, for them this is actually a pretty good sale. And so what happens when there's a sale in the New Eden store? Plex prices spike, because all of a sudden everyone needs Plex to take advantage of it. So the question of it is always, does the Plex price rise more than the discount in the NES store? Because then it's just a wash. Last time when we had the extractor get-in event going on, that went very quickly because that sale was just insane, the 2-for-1 extractor sale. This sale is okay. Yeah, it's all right. And so right now, the discount is still there. As I said, Plex prices only rose about 3-4%, depending on the time of day you looked at it. Probably at some point over 5% as well, but nowhere near the 30% that is that the discount is on. Even on the 3 month, you're also getting 12-month discount in the NES. So right now it is still a fairly good deal. And so right now, the Plex price also hasn't dropped back down. So right now it's at 5.2 million. I probably wouldn't buy Plex right now anymore. You would have had to do that before the sale. But this shows you again that Plex is a good investment if you have very, very large sums to invest and you wait for those sales to happen. Because without an exception over the last year, whenever there was a NES sale, a significant NES sale going on, we always had a Plex spike, sometimes only 5%, sometimes 10%. But it's if it's such a large-scale liquid market that you are able to get profits using Plex investments. Now let's talk about skill extractors real quick, because they did rise in price as well. They used to be tied to Plex prices because you can turn Plex into skill extractors, but since said skill extractor get-in event last year, or was it last year? When was it? Was it here? No, it's in June, earlier this year. Since then, there isn't really a coupling anymore of Plex price and extractor prices, because extractor prices are so cheap if you buy them with ISK. And so now it's slowly going back to that equilibrium price of around 500 million, depending on the daily Plex price. And so today we're seeing 460 million on skill extractors, which is, fantastic, because I know a lot of you have bought skill extractors and are holding on to them and are waiting to sell them. And I have started selling some of them, mainly because now that I'm on the CSM, I can't really trade any more in large scale. So I'm not buying anything anymore. I'm just liquidating my assets slowly. And so now, skill extractors are the largest investment in my large Delta fund. And so now I'm just trying to slowly get rid of these stocks. So I am selling, and I'm a very large seller of skill extractors. So certainly I'm not helping the price going up right now, but the trend right now certainly is up, and it seems like these stockpiles might be running a little bit dry. Large skill injectors increasing a little bit, but really more or less unchanged. The current price on large skill injectors is around 880 million, and so that's pretty normal. Now, all of this has a fairly big impact on the skill farming profit, and I'm not going to talk about this long, but this has meant that for the first time in a long time, if you subscribe for 12 months using Plex in the NES store, your skill farming profit right now is below 1 billion per account, and that hasn't been like that a long time. It's that skill farming profit in the last 12 months has about halved. So in the end, still though, it's still profitable enough that I think the pressure on large skill injectors is still going to be downwards as we go forward. I still don't see a reason why large skill injectors should be rising in price again. Okay. Having said all that, let's talk about some specific items. We do, in addition to the new Eden Store sale that we have going on right now, we have an event going on, and that's the Crimson Harvest. And the Crimson Harvest has had some very interesting effects, to say the least. First of all, if we look at here the items trending up this week, you can see that the Tengu is up 20%. That's a strategic cruiser, and that is the preferred ship group for the Crimson Harvest event sites. And the only reason you only see the Tengu up here is because all of the other strategic cruisers were already rising in price last week. And so if we're looking at the market trend overall, this is using Adam for Eve, for example. If you look at the strategic cruisers, the Loki, the Proteus, the Legion, and the Tengu, they've all risen 20% since last month. So this is something that is a direct result of this. The reason I'm saying that is, one, if you have them lying around, obviously you should be selling them right now, but probably if you have them lying around, then you're using them for event sites. What the other thing that is interesting is that, or to be expected, is that the neurovisual input matrix, which is the largest raw material that goes into manufacturing these, is also slowly rising in price. And since the Crimson Harvest event is going on until November, I don't really see the demand for these strategic cruisers, dropping off all that much. It's definitely going to slow down, but it's still going to be there as people ease into these sites. And so the risen demand for neurovisual input matrices is probably going to be high for a while. If you are holding these, it might be a good time to sell them as well. Another thing that the Crimson Harvest event has done is that it has crashed the agency drugs again. So this is something that with all the large events is something that just tends to happen. So for example, look at agency Pyralancia dose 1 right here. You can see that the price has absolutely crashed over the last few weeks that the event is running. But if you look at the category, you can really see that in every single one of them, the price has crashed. And these are massively popular items, right? So whether it's Pyralancia, Overclocker, or Hardshell, pretty much all of them have dropped. And that means that right now is a fantastic time to invest in these. Even more so than in previous years, because the amount of events that we've seen come out of CCP this year that drop these has been a lot lower than in previous years. So typically right now is a good time anyway, but especially this year, if you have ISK laying around right now is a fantastic time to go into these. Typically the Pyralancia ones are the most popular ones, but all of these have are billion ISK and more daily trade volume. So go buy agency drugs right now. The other thing that we're seeing is let's look at short supply. So items that are currently in short supply and have dropped a lot in supply are, for example, the Golem. Two battleships, the Golem and the Redeemer, are both tier 2 battleships. One's a Black Ops, one's a Marauder, and they not only have they significantly increased in price, but they're also pretty much gone from the market. So if you look at the Golem, for example, the Golem has a daily trade volume of about 50. So 50 Golems are traded in JITA or in the Forge every day. They're only, there are less than 10 left in the market right now. So that just shows you these guys are in very low supply and might be spiking even more going forward. Speaking of spiking, there are some other things that are in low supply that are in danger of really, really spiking high. Look at light entropic disintegrators. Okay, these have a very, very high volume. Okay, about 200 of them are traded every day, and they cost 30 million. Right, so this is 6 billion up in trade volume every single day, and they're pretty much gone. There are almost no light entropic disintegrators out there. Now, these are fairly easy to make, so I'm expecting that people will start producing them and dumping them back onto the market. But right now, it could certainly happen that it could certainly happen that we see a price spike here because there are less than 50 or about 50 left here in the market, which is only half of the daily trade volume. Right? There's some other interesting ones. And that is, for example, the Caldari Navy large shield extenders. 500 of them are traded every single day. Right now, there's only about 100 or so left in the market, and they have already spiked a little bit in price and could be spiking even more. This is a very, very popular module. And same with some of these dead space items. For example, the Corpi A-type multispectrum coating. Very few left in the market, and the GIST X-type 500 MN micro warp drive, average trade volume 25 a day, less than a day trade volume left in the market. So there are a ton of these items right now that are running on low supply. Go find them, mess around with them. There are some good buy opportunities to be had here. All right, I think that's it. No, there's one other thing I want to mention, okay? One other thing, and that is if we go to most underpriced items, there are some unstable heat sinks right now, specifically unstable heatsink mutaplasmids and unstable magnetic field stabilizer mutaplasmids. So these are the items that you use to roll your mods into abyssal mods to change their stats, hopefully to the better. Unstable mutaplasmids are very popular, and they've just been dropping in price like crazy. So especially the heatsink mutaplasmid and the magnetic field stabilizer mutaplasmids, those are both trading at 52-week lows. So that might be a good time to pick those up, because typically they start to bounce around quite a bit depending on the state of the game when they are more or less popular. Okay. That was probably longer than usual, but lots of things happening in EVE Online. Player numbers are great. Drops are on Twitch, so people are watching the streams more. People are logging in. People are excited for the expansion. FanFest was good, so I think this is a great time to be in EVE Online. So we'll return to the regular stream, and we'll see you on the Oz Report next week.